Middle pillar time. Now, briefly, before we go into the middle pillar, I wanted to go over proper meditation. Because if you go online looking for this, you're going to find a lot of half-assed answers. This isn't their fault, it's because meditation, as well as the chakra system, is based in an entirely different situation. So, us in America have little to no understanding. And if you go into a yoga class, they're not going to teach you anything about this anyways. They're going to put you in a bunch of funky poses, which is designed to lead up to mental yoga, which is kinda in essence what we're about to do, except it's been universalized by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They took out the chakra system, they took out the Kundalini, and they took out the wrong way to perform meditation. Now, they have meditation, and what most people think when they hear the word is sitting in a very strange Indian style pose with your feet crossed all funky and your hands resting on your thighs or your knees like this, which, no. If you listen to my relaxation ritual, I tell you to be standing, sitting, preferably in a backless chair so you can keep your back in a very straight position, and to have your feet at your front, normal, like you're sitting in a chair, relaxed, and your hands resting open palmed on your knees. That is the correct posture to be sitting while you're meditating. And this is why, when you're sitting with your legs crossed in that fucked up ass position, you are jumbling the power centers at the soles of your feet. And not only are you jumbling them, so now they're all haywire, you're placing them dangerously close to the power centers in your genitalia. Now, any idiot can figure out, simply by putting two magnets too close to each other, that anything with a magnetic electronic activity will have effects when close to something else that has electronic and magnetic activity. And this should become very clear on why this is a problem. You're taking the power center that grounds your kundalini, or your energy, you're fucking it up, and then putting it very close to your genitalia. You're grounding your energy in your genitalia. Food for thought. Now, onto the middle pillar. Why I've been calling these power centers instead of chakras, because that's all they are. They are a sphere, a power center of magnetic influence. In the book, they call them psychic power centers, but what is psychic energy? It's magnetic energy. So these are centers in your body that have a gravitational effect in some capacity, that float magnetic and energetic currents around. Now, when you begin the middle pillar, you should have just done the lesser banishing ritual, so there should still be a sphere of brilliant white light above your head. You will look up at this bright light and acknowledge it as your higher self, your link to the divine. And at this moment, with this newfound knowledge, and this acknowledging this fact, it should grow in intensity and brilliance. And now, a little bit bigger than 9 inches in diameter like it was before, it is a brilliant white sphere crowning your head. Just touching the top of your head, which connects your pituitary and your pineal gland, activating your third eye. You will, after acknowledging this after visualizing it crowning your head, intone the God name, A-Hey-Yay. Now you should know this from the Lesser Banishing, but I will write it out just in case. Whoops. Almost fucked up again. Hey. Yay. As long as drawn out as possible, 4 to 5 times. Now, after you've done that, you will visualize a brilliant white shaft of light going down the center of your head, the center of your neck, and formulating a brilliant white sphere in your neck. Will encompass pretty much your entire neck and the very bottom of your chin. This you will regard as your link to your higher self, and intone the God name, Yad-He-Vav-He, Elohim. This is the second time I've done this video. The first time I completely screwed up. Yad-He-Vav-He. And put this at the top where A should be. So Yad-He-Vav-He, Elohim. So, still keeping this visualization of that sphere, and the shaft, as you intone the God name, Yad-He-Vav-He, Elohim. Now, this should be done as long and drawn out as possible, but because it's such a big word, and you want to do it all in one breath, you're going to have to do the Yad-He-Vav-He a little bit shorter than you normally would have in the Lesser Banishing. So it's more like Yad-He-Vav-He Elohim. You do that 4 to 5 times, and then visualize the shaft coming down and forming another brilliant white sphere at your solar plexus. You acknowledge this as your conscious and intone the God name, Yad-He-Vav-He dot. And you do that 4 to 5 times. And the same with that, you might have to shorten your normal vibration of Yad-He-Vav-He. Yad-He-Vav-He Elohim. Now, you visualize that brilliant white shaft going down and forming another brilliant white sphere at your genitalia. Here you acknowledge that you are a master of your lower self, and you intone the God name, Shaddai El-Kai. Now, while doing the middle pillar, you are not meditating, so you should be standing. Certain ones, namely the one for Israel Regardi, says you could be sitting in the relaxation ritual posture. I've never tried this. I've always felt that standing is the best way to do this. Shaddai El. Now, after intoning that 4 to 5 times, you visualize the shaft of white light coming down and forming a brilliant white sphere at the feet. Now, this is a little bit different than the rest because half of the sphere is above ground and above your feet, just above your feet, and the other half will be below ground. Now, this is something I have a hard time visualizing, the other sphere underneath the ground. So I usually just envision a half a sphere encompassing the tops of my feet and knowing that the other sphere, the other half, is down there. But one thing that helped this part is in visualizing the white light of that sphere pretty much making my feet disappear. So there's just a half of a sphere of light at my feet where they used to be. And there is nothing to acknowledge here, so you just intone the God name, Adonai Haaretz. You intone that name 4 to 5 times. And then you are done with this part of the ritual. You're pretty much done with the ritual right now. Later on, after you master this part, you'll be adding the circulation of the body of light, but I don't want to go into that just yet. But finishing off, now that you have opened up all these spheres, and as you are doing all this and vibrating the names, you have to hold the image of that. So down here in the third, you'd be holding the image of those three. And then as it goes down, you'd be holding that image. And then as it goes down, you'd be holding that entire image. And after you're done vibrating the last name, what I do is I acknowledge to myself that I can feel these power centers opening and gathering energy. And I usually get some intense feelings around that time. For about 3 to 4 days, I experimented with this because I had attempted to start the advanced middle pillar. So I had these all in color. So this was brilliant white, this was lavender, gold, dark purple, and black. And I would try to circulate this and this clockwise while circulating this counterclockwise. I got that idea from Bearheart, which did produce some powerful feelings, but it wasn't with the diagram that I was given. And while I don't like following things to the letter blindly, for now, especially with the intro to the circulation of the body of light, I kind of wanted to revert back to stage 1. So I'm doing this myself at this time, the regular middle pillar. Because when you do the circulation of body of light, it's just easier to envision that brilliant white light going around you if everything's the same color. But we'll get into that later. And now, after you're done letting that power center fill, you just gently release the image from your mind. Visualize it disappearing, but know that it's still there. And you are done. Take 3 deep breaths and move on to your tarot contemplation ritual, because this should have been shoved in between the two. So it goes relaxation, lesser vanishing, middle pillar, tarot contemplation. And that should be your nightly ritual now. I'll go into it a little bit more in the next video. For now, click that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Have a good day, everyone.